Yeah. If you don't know, we got Joe. I was wondering how long it was going to take him to get to Raw. That was a nice ending. A little anticlimactic. I kind of knew that Triple H was not going to give him what he wanted right away, but that was pretty cool. That finally got some over Joe. Joe's in the building. You know it's gonna be pretty fun. I wonder how long. I hope he doesn't get lost in mid card boredom. Hopefully he'll become a champion. That would be awesome, really awesome. Thank you for coming down to Where Wrestling. Thank you for spending your time coming here. I know that at this point, probably nobody's here at the moment, which I'm kind of glad to see that I can finally see what's going on this camera. This live feed, I am going to be monitoring the chat room as I go. Hopefully someone will come in. If not, okay, oh well. I'm not going to really pay attention too much to the screen. So if you come in, just write something in the comment up there and let me know that you're here. Give me some type of holler to let me know you're in the room. Okay. Once again, thank you for coming to Way of Wrestling, also known as Big Ox Uchia, also known as Bible and Anime. I kind of have no real way to define it because there's so many things that I do here. So let me start by saying I apologize for yesterday and to all of those who was coming to watch the Royal Rumble review. I was not able to review because I was having a lot of issues with the camera, a lot of voice issues at the time. And whether you're watching this live or you're watching one of my actual videos, I do apologize to you for that mishap because, I mean, really, it was no one's fault. But end of the day, it was wrong that you did not get the attention that I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to do that today. So what would have been an hour-long show before, I mean, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, up to that degree, is going to be an actual hour today, strictly for that reason. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to still give my review for the Royal Rumble, and then I'm going to give my review for Raw. Okay? And in the meantime, let me just say this. YouTube, you suck. Your encoding softwares all suck. Except for one. I found one finally open something. It's nice. What's it called? It's called Open OBS Studio. Yeah, OBS. Like it a lot. Other than that, and I think I will be switching to that sooner or later. Hopefully more sooner than later. But digressing from that point, it's one of those things where I do have to apologize to you guys because you really don't deserve that type of disorganization from anybody. Not from me, not from, and this is not the product that I want to be able to give you guys. I want to be able to give you guys great product with lots of great times, a lot of great spots and moments, a lot of good times to talk about. And we have a lot of great things to get into today. So let's get rolling with the first topic of the Royal Rumble. Now that I've had a chance to kind of digest the Royal Rumble, and it's not an authentic, fresh up look, I would have to say the Royal Rumble was good. It was not great. I'll say that much. The matches between Kevin Owens and who was Roman Reigns, that was a good match. I like that match. I like the match between John Cena and AJ Styles. Those two together, man, they put on awesome matches. I mean, they just work well off of each other. I've never seen two people who just do it well like that, and they do it well. So hats off to John Cena and to AJ Styles. I would have liked for AJ Styles to to win the title and keep his title, but I kind of knew John Cena was going to win it. I mean, he did do that double attitude adjustment. That was impressive. John Cena had a lot of impressive moments. Even the sunset flip, I thought that was a nice little touch. AJ Styles pulling out all of his repertoire. I mean, like in the words of the announcers, they did give you everything but the kitchen sink. So I do appreciate that. Well, I didn't watch the Divas match. I did not watch the kickoff shows either. So I'm not going to give my opinion on something that I didn't watch or had any intentions on watching. But Gallows and Anderson lost won theirs, I believe, and the New Day got their belts back, if I remember correctly, something like that. I think that's what happened. I know the New Day got their. I'm sure the New Day got their belts back. If I'm wrong, please in the comments below remind me, so that way I can know that for the future. But I don't really care too much about tag teams, and the New Day is not really my favorite tag team of all time. So I mean, if that's something that you guys like, I enjoy that they're African American and they're successful. That's about it. It's not really much to them that I'm particularly impressed by. Kofi Kingston is Kofi Kingston. Big E, he's funny, and Xavier Woods, he does what Xavier Woods does. He's a glorified manager. That's all he is. He does a couple of matches here and there, but he's no more different to me than Paul Heyman or Jimmy Hart or something to that degree. Brother Love. Yeah. The Royal Rumble match to me was bare minimum. I mean, Bismo. I mean, it really was kind of bad to tell you the truth. It wasn't good. I mean, it had its spots. When like Braun Strowman came in and started wrecking the house. I like that. I would have liked a better matchup between him and Big Show. I thought that became boring. What was it? Mark Henry and him. That was boring. I would expect Mark Henry, as strong as he is, to give more of a challenge, but he didn't. Side conversation. When did Mark Henry become such a jobber? I mean, he jobs to everyone. I mean, he never wins. He just has these few spurts of winning, and then he just jobs. He jobs more than Mabel did. I mean, he's a jobber for real. He's a paid jobber, and I've never seen somebody job as much as he does. In a sense, he kind of makes me really hate the guy. It makes me dislike his ability to wrestle, because I'm sure he could do more than just take hints and punches, fall over ropes, and dancing and with everyone. I'm sure he could do more. And what happened to Titus O'Neil? Where was he? He wasn't in there. Let's see. Darren Young. What happened to that guy? He's gone again. I don't see him around. Don't see anything yet. So I'm just saying, it's like, I don't know what happened to him. It's weird. Anywho, so the next thing on my list is, of course, with the Royal Rumble that I didn't like also was Roman Reigns even being in the Rumble. I mean, I would have thought that Kurt Angle or Samoa Joe would have found themselves in the Rumble automatically, but they didn't. And I really don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me why you didn't see them in the actual Rumble match. That just sucked. And I mean, it could have been better, So I mean, it just overall the Royal Rumble sucked. So I mean, the Royal Rumble match it sucked. Yeah, that was really. I'm glad I got it for free. I'm glad I didn't pay for this Royal Rumble. This was I got the WWE app yesterday, and I got the free month, and I'm kind of glad I did. You know, it's just not. It was horrible. It was horrible from a match standpoint. I only other than like the few spots here and there was nothing memorable that I could say that I was glad about. And but in fact, the fact that you gave me Randy Orton as the winner shows proof of why I don't care. I mean, he's obviously going to go for the SmackDown Championship only. You're not going to put him on Raw. You know, why would you put him on Raw? I mean, he's not going to work a full time schedule like that. I mean, he's not going to be on every show. He's not going to want to. You're not going to want to make Randy Orton champion. And then my question is, what happens between him and Wyatt? I mean, does he give it up to Wyatt? Does him and Bray Wyatt go and win a champ? Does he win a championship and then Bray calls himself the champion? I mean, what? How would this work? I just don't get it. And personally, I honestly, I kind of don't care. I mean, I hope he loses it tomorrow night because he's irrelevant. Just that simple. So that is how I feel about the Royal Rumble in its totality. So if I had to give it a rating star system, I guess I would give it easily give it 2 stars, 3 stars maybe, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 because of AJ Styles versus John Cena. 3 out of 5 for seeing Goldberg set up. That's another. There is something I wanted to get off my chest. Okay, so why would you start a program with Undertaker and Roman Reigns if you're going to start a program with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about starting a program with the Undertaker, him calling himself the dog, the owner of the yard. And here comes Roman Reigns. He said, "No, it's my yard now, and he's the dog," and all of this BS malarkey. But then you don't want to give away your main event idea. It's 11:22 at night, y'all. I'm tired. I've been at work all day, so excuse me if I yawn a lot. You don't want to give away your main event or your so-called main event with Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. But let's be real. There's nothing else you have to give him. So Roman Reigns is the obvious one. But then you're going to start a program with Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman and him, that's something that you do after WrestleMania. You don't do it now. If I were to say that a better one to have as the WWE Universal Champion, it to me would have to be Braun Strowman. He's the perfect candidate to take it off of Kevin Owens and start a program between him and Y2J going into WrestleMania. Now, of course, you could take this and go into the Elimination Chamber with Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. Obviously, you can do it with Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and what's my dude that Kevin Owens, Y2J, etc., etc. But I mean, after that, you pretty much have to side cart the whole idea of Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns to go after a Undertaker versus Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, which obviously now is not going to happen. I think they're taking that element away from it, because obviously Taker, if I remember correctly, he needs a surgery. But now he looks so great. Taker looked awesome. He looked better than he's looked in months. I think that's the most life I've seen in Undertaker's face. I like the fact that he dyed his hair black again. That was cool. But I mean, really, there's nothing to Taker right now that we have. I'm sorry, my wife just walked past. There's not really much to Taker that you could do right now other than wait till WrestleMania. So that to me is really kind of a boring thing, man. I mean, it's not something that I particularly think is awesome. I think they need to come up with a better idea. All right, thank you for coming to Way of Wrestling. By the way, this is my Monday Night Raw and Royal Rumble review. I'm at the Royal Rumble portion of this thing right now, so if you're coming for Raw, thank you for coming. Please put a comment in the just to let me know who you are, and if you put your channel, I will subscribe. Anywho, so as I was saying, Roman Reigns, he did his thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not upset about Roman Reigns. His whole thing going on for him and Undertaker. I don't dislike the idea, but I just think that they were too busy setting up WrestleMania in the Royal Rumble that they kind of now have ridden themselves out a little early. Who cares about Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar? Okay, unless you're going to put them in an octagon and let Brock Lesnar beat on Goldberg for the next 20 days, there is nothing that you can do with the match that matters. I honestly don't think it's going to be a worthwhile match, because if you've already had two matches where you've already crushed Brock Lesnar twice, why would I have to go and do it a third time? I don't need to. I'm like Mayweather. I don't have that much machismo in me to want to have to do it multiple times over and over and over and over again. So I don't see the need for it. I really don't. I think that's a bad idea, personally. Another thing that I did not agree with, again, is the whole Roman Reigns being in the Royal Rumble to begin with. There are so many other superstars you could have went with, even Kane. You could have gone with a lot of different. And then where's Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle could have easily just came in for a spot. He could have easily just did a spot, a quick, come in like DDP did, go right over the top rope or something like that, suplex a couple of guys, give somebody an angle slam, get eliminated, and you're good. You don't even need to keep them out there long. That would have been just enough so people could get that nostalgia wow factor just to see him back in a WWE ring as a wrestler. And I don't think we're going to get that, honestly. I really don't. I don't think he's in shape enough to get that last chance. I think this is the goodbye to Kurt Angle as a WWE wrestler. I think this is the send-off that he's going to get for that. I don't think we're going to get Kurt Angle as much more than what you're seeing him as at this point. And it's sad. It makes me sad because I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan. I enjoy almost all Kurt Angle's matches. All the matches that he's given, I gotta admit, I loved them. So for me, it's going to be a sad goodbye. But I would have loved to see him in the Rumble. I did not like. Oh gosh, I don't like intermission matches. I gotta say that, and I say that because with the women's matches, to me, sometimes becomes that. Okay, they become intermission matches. Don't get me wrong, when you get them in cage matches and stuff like that, it can be pretty cool to watch. But there are times when I just don't like women's matches. I'm not a fan of them all the time. They can be kind of boring. And watching that just turns me away. And so I just don't do it. So That's just my personal taste, my personal flavor. You tell me what you think in the group chat, and I will respond to you. Anyway, the so it's just that simple. I'm not a fan of that. Another thing that I'm not a fan of, that I just hope they take it in a better direction, is the cruiserweights. I I know his name is what is this? Rich Swan, Bug Eyes, Rich Swan versus Neville, Neville or whatever his name is, Neville. Neville. That's his name, Neville. Thank you, somebody. Neville. I am not the biggest Neville fan. He's kind of like, I'm glad he's the cruiserweight champion though, because he makes sense as cruiserweight champion. It looks better on him than it does on Rich Swann, in my opinion. I feel like we're force fed Rich Swann. I think Neville, excuse me, I keep getting his name wrong. I think Neville is a guy that I think it belongs to him. It looks good on his waist. Okay, no homo. Just saying, it's just looks good on him. Another thing, not a fan of Charlotte. I like some of the matches she puts on when it's between her and Sasha. But anybody else is just kind of she's boring. Like, it's like watching Sweet Valley High wrestle. That's the best answer that I can give to that. You know. All right, we're at the 11:30 mark. So thank you for coming to Way of Wrestling. My name is Vasil, Big Ox Uchia. And this is basically late at night, and this has been basically my Raw and my Royal Rumble review. For those who have just started joining, I just want to thank you for coming out, and thank you for giving your time to me to allow me to be the guy that reviews your experience for the Royal Rumble. And I thank you for giving me at least 2 seconds of your time. I do really appreciate it. You don't know how much it means to me to have you guys show up, and even just for a second, it does mean a lot to me. And I don't want you to ever think that I take it for granted. Okay, awesome. So, getting into Raw. Okay, so again, because I had to work, I did not see the first 10 minutes of Raw. But I surmised that obviously they were talking about Seth Rollins seeing, Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Okay, I'm sure that's probably the beginning. I got in about the 8:30 mark. So there's a lot of stuff that I missed. Obviously, stuff with the New Day I didn't see, but I did. I was able to catch up on at the point where he's coming in and telling people he wants to see Stephanie McMahon and all those good things. I would say the highlight to me, I'm going to kind of highlight this. I'm not going to really talk long about this because Raw to me was boring. Okay? Raw has been boring. It has been very boring, and it has not been getting better. It's not exciting. It's not fun to watch. It's boring. And I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan. So for me to say that, it really hurts my heart where WWE is from a content standpoint. Jericho, and I can see what they're trying to go with that, with Jericho and Kevin Owens. I can see that they're trying to break them up in a slow and methodic way where Chris Jericho at the end of it is pretty much going to play the heel, I think. Um, or maybe not. Maybe he's going to become the babyface of this, where he's like, hey, I'm tired of you using me. I'm tired of you playing games with me. I want to be champion, and I want a shot at your championship. And we go into WrestleMania, Kevin Owens versus Jericho, maybe for the Universal Heavyweight Championship, which is a dumb name for a belt. Then, of course, we talked about you had, what was it, the mixed gender. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Mixed gender matches where Charlotte versus Becky, not Becky, what's her name? Bailey, excuse me. Charlotte versus Bailey, and it was the two guys that are big and tall. Can't think of their names right now. I'm sorry, I am so sleepy. Their names are shoot. I want to say Festus and Little Festus, okay? Because right now I'm sleepy. So Festus and Little Festus versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Now that's where I came in at. I got it now. That's where I came in at. I came in where Sheamus and Cesaro was arguing over why one would eliminate the other, which was okay. Braun Strowman got a chance at the belt. I like that idea. I thought that was a pretty interesting idea. I think that really set the tone for the night. By the way, if you hear my heater, it just came on, so I'm sorry if you hear air in the microphone. I can't really change that. That's kind of like one of those things. But it was funny to me that Braun Strowman did the smart thing. He comes out, he attacks Jericho, he beats up Jericho, he gets rid of Jericho. The next thing he does is he spends a lot of time beating up on Kevin Owens. And at one point I knew that he was not going to win because I was like, they are just running in and out of the ring. It doesn't seem like he's going for the quick cover like he usually does. You can say that's smart by Kevin Owens, but really, I kind of thought that what they were going to try to do was give Braun Strowman the title, which to me, he would have been a better choice. Give Braun Strowman the title. Let him win the title. Let him have the title. Show this big guy with the title hoisted above his head, and this big title, on his shoulder, and let him walk out of there as the champion. Roman Reigns comes out, beats him, punches him to the ground, beats the heck out of him, stands over him with the belt in his hand. Or even better, you can have Braun Strowman just get right back up even after taking such a beating and just wailing on Roman Reigns, proving some more why he has the belt in his hand, making him seem almost invincible. Okay? And then taking it to a Brock Lesnar maybe or a Goldberg, and Goldberg or Brock Lesnar wins at WrestleMania. But obviously they're not going to do that. So what they do instead is they go ahead and let Roman Reigns interfere like Braun Strowman did last night. Okay, tit for tat. Who cares? So needless to say, that's what happened tonight between those guys. Braun Strowman didn't win, but I don't think he was supposed to from the jump. Then, of course, you got some more female stuff that divas. I don't watch divas. The cruiserweight division, which I call the male divas, because that's what they treat them like. They treat them like they're the male divas. They even gave them the divas belt color. Okay, that's what I'm going to refer to them as. It's the male divas, because they are just as boring to me right now. Neville with Rich Swann, they're still continuing their program from last night. It is really meaningless, so I'm moving on. Then we got some more conversation with Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon in the back. Mick Foley is finally starting to sound like he actually cares about being a man and not being afraid of Stephanie McMahon. Now he's actually sounding like he's not afraid of what happened to him. I think he's getting to the end of his rope with the show anyway. I don't think he's going to be doing it long. He sounds like he's kind of fed up anyway. I don't think Stephanie McMahon is going to keep playing the same persona. I mean, yeah, we're going to see her always on TV. Obviously, she's kind of like becoming the Dixie Carter of the WWE. But so I expect to see her on TV a lot. But it's starting to get kind of boring. The same. I mean, she's been doing the same thing since 1995. Okay, 1999 or 2000, whenever it was she came. Ever since her and Triple H got married and she was on there a lot, she's been doing the same persona ever since. And it's, for me, I guess because I've been watching this so long, I'm ready to see her take it in a different direction. I thought she was going to do a program with Sasha Banks. It made sense, and now obviously that's not happening either, because they're burying Sasha Banks for some reason with Nia Jax, and who cares? But they're burying her. She's buried. I mean, give Taker the shovel, because and tell him to get the burying, because he is pushing dirt onto her. The confrontation between Stephanie and Seth Rollins was obviously something that they were doing with Daniel Bryan, 2-3 years ago now. This is what I mean. Like, it's not that I hate wrestling, because I love wrestling, but it's so boring. It's the same storylines over and over, retold over and over again. And it's like, okay, you could go in a different direction with him versus Triple H. You give us a scenario that makes sense with Triple H talking to, messing up his match, playing mind games with him, beating him and taking the belt from him, and giving it to Owens. Fine, I can get with that. But now it's just starting to get to a place where, come on, give me more than that. Give me an actual idea that's different, that's unique, that's special. I mean, your creative team cannot come up with something new. And even if you go back to the past and grab a storyline from like WCW, I don't care, because it's been so long I haven't seen them. But if you're going to keep doing the same ones over and over again, I mean, it's like take Daniel Bryan's storyline and just bump Daniel Bryan out the way and put Seth Rollins in it. Oh, wait a minute. Bump him out the way and put CM Punk in it. Wait, bump him out the way and put whoever, Sheamus in there. Whoever you want. It doesn't matter, because it's the same storyline over and over and over again. So Triple H just screwed me over. Triple H just screwed me over. I'm getting screwed over by the man. And now Triple H is the man. And now Triple H doesn't like you. I tried to save you, Sean. I'm trying to save you, Sean. I tried to spare you, Sean. I mean, it's the same conversation he's been doing since like the Attitude Era. And I'm kind of just getting tired of the same story of him so-called sparing the talent. It's just... So are we going to get the Hell Dimension that we got last year? I mean, because that's what it seems like we're going for again. It's the whole Hell entrance that we got for Triple H last year. Is that what we're going for? silliness. I did like something else about tonight. I did like the spot with the Reverend Doctor Paul Heyman of the first Brock Lesnar Missionary Baptist Episcopalian Church. You know, he's not a preacher, obviously. He's not a real minister. But it's just he preaches like a Baptist minister, okay? He sounds like an old Southern Baptist preacher from no, he sounds like he could be Tony Evans' son-in-law, okay? That's how he talks. It sounds like he could be that in depth of a minister if he ever gave his life to Christ, which I know he would not do. But if he ever did, man, I would go to his church because I know he will always have something awesome to say. The Reverend Dr. Paul Heyman. Bishop Heyman. Bishop Heyman. That's funny. Yeah, but it's awesome. It's awesome. I did like that whole spot. I like that Brock Lesnar talked with his face. You know, he did a great job of it today. Like, I mean, he didn't say a word, but did a great job of speaking with his eyes. When Paul Heyman smiling when the crowd chanted his name, you know, Suplex City, kind of looking kind of low and defeated when Paul Heyman said certain things about the depleted Brock Lesnar. I like how Brock Lesnar's face looked down, like as if he did lose it all. You know, I like Paul Heyman's speech, his sermon on the buts, however's these little words that we use for describing someone else. And I'm not going to preach his sermon, but you know, it's just to describe. Yeah, but that's what he said. Yeah, but I could understand where he was coming from with yeah, but, and it's such a interesting, you know, truth. You know, from a a secular worldview perspective, I could understand where he's coming from, because there are times in your life where you are trying to do something good, but people put that yeah but in the area of what you're doing. You know, you're trying your best to show proof of how good you are at. Yeah, but you didn't do this. You didn't make the mile. You're always only so far. You're only getting so close. You're only taking it, but so to a certain degree. But you know, it's like yeah, but you didn't get it. You could have got the degree, but yeah, but you didn't. You got degrees, but yeah, but your grades wasn't that good. You got your certificate, but yeah, but you can't seem to find that job you want. The yeah buts can be so overwhelming that sometimes it seems as if that is all that you're good for is a yeah and a but. And that's why I say, yeah, I could go on that one for a little while. I better leave that alone because that made me want to preach. But well, I heard Paul Heyman. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but Paul Heyman. Yeah, but I like how he spent a lot of time with those facial expressions and showing how it really did. It made it seem as if it was truly affecting him as a person, you know. And when he was ready to show that he was tipped off, he showed it in his facial expressions. I give them all a plus because it was just an awesome segment. You could always expect Paul Heyman to do his job. And of course, next week we're going to hear from Goldberg about everything. So, the crowd. Usually, Royal Rumble crowds aren't that good anyway. But I mean, this one was boring. One side of the arena, just like last night, one side of the arena was chatting one thing, the other side was chatting another. You couldn't even tell who was chatting what. It was WWE obviously mutes the crowd, so they don't let you hear everything that's being said. It was really, really bad. I mean, really bad. It was sad, honestly. I don't. I don't. I don't like it. I don't like their crowd. That crowd in Texas was boring. The only time they seemed to get into things was Enzo and Cass because they came out and they seemed to love them a lot. But it was just a kind of a boring crowd. Or maybe, like I said, the crowd was muted in a way that you couldn't hear them. I would hope that, somebody, will put a video out to hear what they were really saying. Excuse me, was really saying. And I'm going to get going in a minute, guys. But I will hope that they put something out there to let us know what they were really saying because, I mean, it was just really kind of bad in a sense. So you get this segment, and as you can see, something good is coming. You get the segment, Triple H comes in and talks, and he gets all type of he gives his speech, his same old speech that he's given. But I like the Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, that's what he just kept saying. I don't know why, but I guess that's what he'd like to say. So he was enjoying it. He was acting like he was angry with him because he tried to make him, but he didn't live up to his own expectations. Even though, obviously, you don't want to keep talking bad about your talent because obviously that's going to bury them sooner or later. So I don't really get with that part of the storyline of him keep acting like certain talent is not good enough. Because to me personally, what that ends up doing is creating a moment where you seem like you're burying your guy, and I'm not really a fan of that. Not really a fan of like I said, those type of storylines of, well, he may not be good enough, he may not be smart enough. I just don't get it. I don't understand that. So, fine. He goes and does his thing, and happy times are here again, right? So, he's talking, and he tells Seth Rollins to come out. Seth Rollins comes out. Somehow he's greasy underneath the t-shirt. I don't know how, but he's greasy. I mean, he's greased all the way up, and he gets hit by Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe, if you don't know, is from TNA, who signed with NXT, has been doing really good over there. I watched a couple of matches from NXT today, and I would have to admit he's awesome. He always has been. He's very athletic. He's to me like he's kind of like on the same line as a Kevin Owens. And I would like to see a match between the two of them because I think that would be a pretty fun match to watch because they're so similar in their fighting style. So Samoa Joe beats him up to the point he's bleeding from the back. I thought he was going to bleed from the head the way he hit that stair. I thought he really did hit it hard enough to bust him open, but he didn't bust open. Samoa Joe choked him out, stood over his body, blah blah blah. Triple H, he's doing this whole kingpin thing, acting like he's the kingpin from Daredevil. Basically, he's Wilson Fisk, and so yeah. So he was standing over him like the Godfather, like he was some type of mafia guy. And so Triple H is a part of the Sopranos, by the way, if you didn't know. So yeah, it was kind of bad from that standpoint, but it was good. It was fun to watch. Triple H got a really big pop. Um, I think it was really good to watch. It was fun to watch from that standpoint. So I guess the question is for the next couple of minutes that I have left here today at for Big Ox Uchia is, what do you think? Feel free to go to the top right corner and you go ahead and fill out some of these polls and tell me what you think about Seth Rollins and them, and you tell me how you feel about um, all those different things, and if you like the match, what match was your favorite match last night at Royal Rumble? And tell me also what was your favorite match tonight, and even if once again you don't get to come down to this channel today, if you do are doing the live, the video feed instead of the live feed, feel free to leave a comment and let me know exactly what it is that you liked about Royal Rumble and what you liked about Raw tonight. Is there anything that they could have done better? And if there was something that you didn't like, what exactly that you didn't like? For me, I gave to be nice because pretty much of Roman because of John Cena versus AJ Styles. I gave the SmackDown side of it. So I would give Royal Rumble 3 stars out of 5. AJ Styles versus John Cena was the best match of the night, in my opinion. And I think everybody could agree with that. That was the match of the night. Tonight's match of the night for me was actually Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. I would say that was the match of the night, even with the interference. So those two are the matches of the night, in my opinion. There were no better matches. So the appearance of Samoa Joe, and because I just liked my wife seems to like Enzo Amore for some reason. So I don't know. I hope she's not leaving me for a certified G and a bona fide scrub. Yeah, I called him a scrub. Yes, I did. So I'll give Raw I'll give it a 3.5 stars, a little bit above the Royal Rumble, but compared to the Royal Rumble, obviously it's kind of like a 4-star, because the Royal Rumble was really kind of bad this year. It really wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as last year's. Yep, so that is all I have to say tonight. This is your boy, the Big Ox Uchia. Uchia. And even though I'm supposed to go to 12 a.m., hey, how are you? Thank you for coming down to Way of Wrestling. I see that you just came in, and I don't know who you are. Go ahead and leave a comment or something. Give me a quick shout, because I was just about to log off in a couple of seconds. Who are you, real quick, for coming down, viewer number 1? Hopefully it's not just my wife sitting there. There's no way for me to tell because I have no... Oh, wait a minute. I got the room for a viewer. How about that? Controls. So thank you for coming down to Way of Wrestling. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I thank you for coming down. I see somebody did come at the last minute. And now they're gone. Awesome. All right. Peace out.